October 25th, 1974. I'd hunted those mountains enough to know when something felt right. That morning, it did. The air was cold, the sky was clear, and the Wyoming wilderness was quiet except for the wind moving through the pines. I spotted the elk just before noon. It was a large bull, standing broadside in an open meadow. An easy shot. I steadied my rifle, slowed my breathing, and squeezed the trigger. The rifle fired. I watched the bullet leave the barrel. Or at least, I thought I did. Instead of striking the elk, the bullet seemed to slow down. It was as if it had hit invisible water. It drifted forward lazily before dropping to the ground. I couldn't believe what I'd seen. Then the elk disappeared. Not by running away, it simply wasn't even there anymore. The meadow was empty. That's when I noticed the man. He stood perhaps 30 yards away. I hadn't heard anyone approach. He was unusually tall, well over 6 feet. His skin looked strangely pale. His hair was long and dark. He wore a tight black outfit, unlike any hunting gear that I've ever seen. What had caught my attention most were his boots. They didn't appear to touch the ground properly, almost as if they floated just above it. He smiled, not warmly, just calmly. Then he spoke. His voice sounded normal enough. He introduced himself as Ausso One. That name struck me as odd, but I was too confused to question it. He told me he was from a place far beyond Earth. I remember staring at him, trying to decide whether I was dealing with a prank, a hallucination, or something that I couldn't explain. He invited me to come with him. Everything inside me screamed not to, but I felt strangely unable to refuse. We walked towards what I first thought was a large transparent dome resting among the trees. As we approached, it became clear it wasn't resting on anything. It hovered silently. There were no engines, no landing gear, no sound. Just a smooth, glowing structure. The entrance appeared without anyone touching it. There were no obvious light fixtures. The walls seemed to glow on their own. The air inside felt different, cleaner, almost weightless. I noticed several other beings, but none spoke. They watched me with quiet curiosity. There was no panic, no rushing. Everything they did seemed deliberate. I was shown objects I couldn't identify. Panels with moving lights, devices that responded before anyone touched them. At one point, Ausso handed me a small container with several pills inside. He indicated they were food. I laughed. Food? Those tiny pills? He assured me they were enough. I didn't believe him. He then showed me what looked like a map. Not of Earth, of stars. He pointed to one location, then another, trying to explain where he came from. I couldn't make any sense of it. The distances meant nothing to me. I asked why I'd been brought there. He didn't answer directly. Instead, he gave me the impression that I had been selected. Not because I was special, simply because I just happened to be there. That answer bothered me more than any other. I don't remember leaving. One moment I was inside the craft, and the next I was lying on the mountainside. The afternoon sun had shifted noticeably. My truck sat exactly where I'd left it. The elk was gone. My rifle lay beside me. When I stood, I felt weak, disorientated. Hours had passed. I had no memory of how I returned. Eventually, I made it back. People immediately noticed something wasn't right. I appeared dehydrated, confused. Doctors later examined me. According to reports from the time, they found signs of physical stress and unusually high blood pressure, though nothing that proved an extraordinary event had occurred. When investigators asked what had happened, I told them exactly what I remembered. A bullet that slowed in midair, a man named Ausso One, a silent craft, a journey that I couldn't explain. People laughed, others listened carefully. Years later, I'm still telling the same story, not because I can prove it, but because I don't know how else to explain what happened on that mountain.
I've spent my career trusting my instruments. Pilots are taught that your eyes can lie, your instincts can fail, but your aircraft tells the truth. That night, it didn't. The call came sometime after midnight. Multiple civilians across Tehran had reported an unusually bright object hovering over the city. The reports kept coming. Too many to ignore. The control tower decided to scramble a fighter. The first pilot took off. Minutes later, he reported something extraordinary. As he closed on the object, his communications failed. His navigation equipment failed. His weapon systems stopped responding. The moment he turned away, everything came back online. He aborted the mission. So the tower called me next. I climbed into my F4 Phantom. I've flown intercepts before. Unknown aircraft happen. Weather balloons, military exercises, equipment failures. There's almost always an explanation. As I climbed towards the reported altitude, I saw it. Even from miles away, it was brighter than any star, brighter than any aircraft. It didn't blink. It didn't move like anything I'd ever intercepted. Ground control confirmed my radar had locked onto something solid. This wasn't a reflection. Something was there. As I approached, the object suddenly accelerated. Not gradually, instantly. One moment it appeared several miles ahead. The next, it had covered a distance no conventional aircraft should have crossed in that amount of time. I remember thinking my radar had malfunctioned. Then I looked outside. No, the object had moved. I requested permission to continue, and ground control approved. I closed the distance again. That's when something separated from it. A smaller object, bright, extremely bright. It detached and headed directly towards me. Fast. Very fast. Training took over. Unknown object approaching. Prepare weapons. I reached for the missile controls. Nothing. It was dead. Every weapons indicator went dark. The targeting system vanished. Communications failed. Even parts of my instrument panel began behaving erratically. My aircraft felt perfectly healthy. Yet, every electronic system I needed had simply stopped working. The object continued approaching. I genuinely believed I was about to collide with it. It made no sound, there was no exhaust, no visible wings, no spinning rotors, nothing. Just light. Brilliant white light. I initiated an evasive turn. The moment I turned away, every system came back instantly. Weapons restored, communications restored, and my navigation restored. It's as though someone had flipped a switch. Before I could process what had happened, another object separated from the larger craft. This one descended towards the ground. It appeared to land, or nearly land, in an open area outside the city. The glow illuminated the terrain below. Ground control tracked it as well, so it wasn't just me, and there was people on the ground who saw it too. For several moments, the smaller object remained stationary. Then it rose, returned toward the larger object, and disappeared. By then, my fuel was becoming a concern. Control ordered me back towards base. Even during the return flight, the object remained visible, watching, but always at a distance, never attacking, never communicating, just simply present. Back on the ground, I expected someone to explain it. Instead, everyone had questions. Radar operators, commanders, intelligence officers. They compared my account with the first pilot's. The similarities were impossible to ignore. Equipment failures, loss of communications, the strange acceleration, the brilliant light. Multiple independent witnesses had observed the same object. In the days that followed, I replayed the encounter in my mind countless times. Could it have been experimental technology? Perhaps. Could my aircraft have experienced a rare electrical malfunction? Possibly. But why only while approaching the object? Why did everything recover the instant I turned away? Why did radar confirmation a target where my eye saw one? Those questions have stayed with me for decades. People often ask whether I believe I encountered an extraterrestrial craft. I answer the same way every time. I don't know. What I know is this. I chased something over Tehran that night. It outperformed every aircraft I had ever flown against. It appeared to interfere with my electronics. It accelerated in ways I could not explain. And despite years of reflection, I still have no satisfactory explanation for what I had witnessed. I have flown enough missions to recognize an ordinary mistake. That night didn't feel ordinary. Not then, and not now.
Like what you heard? Hit subscribe and like the video for more stories every Thursday and Sunday between 1800 and 2000 BST. And remember, curiosity opens doors better left closed.